single-use water is critical to the future.
Reclaimed water is a very good solution to take us into the future.
We have tremendous natural resources here. We need to preserve as much of those as we can. Reclaimed water can serve those limited resources.
We actually take raw sewage, treat it, and we turn it into reclaimed water that we're going to be using for irrigation. Usually from the time the raw sewage gets in here and leaves, it's about a 24-hour process. We have a bacteria in our tank, and our main job is to maintain that bacteria, make it sure it's as healthy as possible. And we introduce that raw sewage to the bacteria, and it actually takes the nutrients, and we evaporate some out into the air by converting it, and the others are just trapped inside the bacteria. And we actually settle the bacteria to the bottom, and we get clean water off the top. Then we take that clean water, we put it through a filtration process, get out most of the suspended solids, if not all, and then we run it through a UV system that disinfects all the water. So it kills all pathogens in the water, but perfect for irrigation. Still has the nutrients you need for your grass, but nothing dangerous.
The idea behind reclaimed water is to promote conservation, using reclaimed water for its intended purposes, in this case irrigation and irrigation only. Reclaimed water is not to be used for drinking, either animal or human consumption. It's not to be used with hose bibs, not to be used for car washes. You're not to fill pools or kids' toys with it. It's only for irrigation of your lawn and plants. In addition, we want to make sure if you do any gardening that plants that are not going to be peeled, skinned, or thermally processed, i.e. cooked before they're being used, are not to be irrigated with reclaimed water.
As a homeowner and as a resident of St. Johns County and as an environmental engineer, I certainly understand the purpose and conservation of water. I think it's a big deal and it's important for everybody. Certainly there's a cost savings which should get everyone's attention, but it's also, you know, the right thing to do, and it's good for the lawn. The reclaimed water has the phosphorus and some of the nitrogen constituents in it that typically your well water and potable water does not have, and that's beneficial again for green purposes.
What this does is provide another source to use for irrigation, which is, well over half of our water needs are in irrigation. It goes on our grass. Reuse does a couple things. We no longer discharge to the river, to the St. Johns and Matanzas, with nutrients, nitrogen, and those things that can add to algae blooms and just an overall degradation of the river. But we use it beneficially on grass. We redirect it, we treat it to a high level, and we put it on lawns. So that takes nutrients out of the river, but secondarily it replaces water that we'd be pulling from the Florida aquifer.
Reclaimed water is a very good solution to take us into the future and not stress our precious resource.
The state of Florida is surrounded by water on three sides: surficial waters, wells, the aquifer, rivers, lakes, streams are limited resources. The reclaimed water tends to conserve those limited resources.
Nobody cares more about the environment of St. Johns County than people that raise their kids here and that were born here and remember water skiing and fishing. And we want to keep the environment as pristine as we can. And so we have that ability here. We have that challenge, but we can meet it by responsibly handling wastewater and providing drinking water in a way that doesn't hurt the environment.